Good morning, all of my fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is I, and I am Guy. Good to see you guys here. I'm going to go on ahead and click on the transfer here, and we're going to go over to my monitor where I'm already working diligently on the next comic. There we go. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Good morning, Donald. Okay. Well, I'm glad you dropped in for a minute or two. It's good to see you this morning. I get a lot of text messages all of a sudden. I'm doing all right, Elsa. How are you doing? Good to see you this morning. I usually stream for 2 hours from 9 a.m. Mountain Time until 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And then, hey, Alicia. And then Brent finally made it. I will be broadcasting again tonight from 9 p.m. Mountain Time to 11 p.m. Mountain Time. They're all like, 4, 12, 30. What is this with all these people talking to me? Great stream I'm doing here, where you guys are watching me text my friends. All right. Hey, Brent. Good to see you aboard. All right. Her name's Alex. That's probably not. Her name is Alex. We could probably contract that, and it sounds still pretty solid. The girl. You know, Miss, I speak an ancient language and seem remarkably out of place in our world. That girl. This needs to be italicized and bolded. Not at this time. I'm so broke right now. So I appreciate it, though. Why did it make it that much bigger? That shouldn't be that much bigger. Oh, my goodness. We are way too small at this point in time, I think. I don't text you. No, Brent, you're right. I really don't text you. I was going to, but then I didn't. So... All right. A weird girl. What? The girl. No, we've never started work. I mean, we've made design thoughts about it and messed around with the idea of it. should do this backwards. There we go. So 2 questions. First, why are you obsessed with this girl? And 2, don't they feed you in the mess hall? To which Bennett replies, in reverse order. 2, because my mama told me that stolen food has no calories. And 1, why aren't you worried about her? Because, of course, Bennett's stealing the food off of Chang's plate, as you might imagine. Temperatures are to plummet Thursday, guys. Just letting you guys know. Those of you guys who are here in the Mile High City. Although it looks like Friday is just mildly annoying when it comes to this. Like, there's even really a chance of snow, just a chance of rain. But it does look like all next week is going to be grumpily overcast. So that's a thing. So to your answer there, Brent, to your statement anyway, that's fine. To that statement, we couldn't get Kevin's printer to work properly. So we I should say Kevin never got Kevin's printer to work properly. So he handed that off to Troy's kid, who immediately got it working just fine. But Kevin's perfectly happy leaving that with Troy's kid. So Okay. That actually might be something we will take you up on since you've already started printing them. He's got the large bed printer, so we can print probably half of the head at a time instead of quarters. Marquise. All right. I am. Well, please enlighten me, my dear captain. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm pretty sure I know what she is. Then Bennett says, "Oh, well, please enlighten me, my dear captain." And then Chang says her memories are all messed up. She thinks she's in a different place in time than she really is. These are all side effects of a designer person, a gen mod. Bennett goes, "Wait a minute, you think she's genetically altered to be a concubine? That's quite a jump." And then says, "Okay, but why speak a dead language then?" That's what she says. "I speak Mandarin." It's all part of the illusion. There we go. I think I've condensed this scene down. There we go. I think we're doing pretty good here. So, rereading and recapping the screen. Says, why aren't you worried about her? Chang says, I am, but I'm pretty sure I know what she is. And then Bennett says, oh, well, please enlighten me, my dear captain. And Chang says her memories are all messed up. She thinks she's in a different place and time than she really is. These are all side effects of a designer person, a gen mod. Then there's a pause. And Bennett goes, you think she's genetically altered to be a concubine? That's quite a jump. And then she goes, well, why would she speak a dead language? Yeah, man, this one just does not sound smooth here. Right? So she says, well, why would she speak a dead language then? And then that's when Chang says, I speak Mandarin. It's all part of the illusion. Then Bennett says, so there's a cartel here on Moment? And Chang says, I don't think so. I think she escaped like I did. And that now has spoken volumes about A, where Chang is thinking what's going on here is happening, and B, lets you know that Chang was in this situation. Huh. I like that. That's just all Bennett's got is like, huh. Crunch, crunch, crunch. He eats the apple. All right. All right. This is where I need help from Brent or Donald. We've got that infamous trick that you see in stories where, they call down and say, "Captain, there's a problem. Come to the bridge." And you're like, well, okay, but if there's a problem, why not say it? I mean, it is a direct line from point A to point B. It's not like people are listening in and you're broadcasting through the MC1, hey, Captain, there's a bad guy right next to us. It's not like you're doing that. So here is the question that kind of makes me wonder, how much of the situation would they say over the communication lines? If it's super complicated and difficult and everything like that, what would they say to the captain? Would they just say, Captain, report to the bridge? Or, because that's always been a device that I thought was stupid in Star Trek or any other science fiction show, which is, the captain's in their ready room and you get the boop, Captain, please report to the bridge. And the captain shows up on the bridge 25 minutes later and they're like, "Sir, there's been an enemy ship staring at us, aiming all of its guns at us." There we go. Okay, that works. There we go. Literally quoted word for word. And then that should fit those two together. Pretty good. All right, here's what we got. You're not worried about her? I am. But I'm pretty sure I know what she is. Oh, well, please enlighten me, dear Captain. Her memories are all messed up and she thinks she's in a different place and time than she really is. These are all side effects of a designer person, a gen mod. You think she's genetically altered to be a not altered, modified. Genetically created to be a concubine? That's quite a jump. And why would she speak a dead language? Okay, I'm going to take that and put that in a different place, like right here. So one of the rules that I follow, not all comic artists do, but I do, is one sentence per bubble. A gen mod, yep. So these are all side effects of a designer person, a gen mod. And then Bennett says, you think she's genetically created to be a concubine? That's quite a jump. Why would she speak a dead language then? And then Chang says, I speak Mandarin. It's all part of the illusion. So then Bennett goes, no, wait, so there's a cartel here on Moment? And she says, I don't think so. I think she escaped like I did. Huh. Poor kid. Then we've got Skipper Gravitics. Please report to the bridge. We have a situation. That moves to here, where we cut to the bridge, and we see Better Spec saying, it looks like Moment Control sent out a search and rescue team about 9 hours ago. They're looking for that freighter that was headed back to Bellatrix, the Thomas Bregman. They've been trying to raise the SAR team for the last hour, and they're just getting silence. I went on ahead and ran a gravitic sweep, and I can't see the Bregman or the SAR team. And then the next panel is, but that's not our big problem, sir. This is. And then she says, that's a big gravity footprint there, Gunny. And Better Spec says, yes, sir. Looks like 2 screening units, probably destroyers, and they're inbound. And then she says, they're not ours, are they? No, sir. And then he says, I can't be sure at this range, but my best guess is that they're Commonwealth. And with this big of a footprint, they're coming in hot. So there's my complication to the story. And then the last page is a picture of two Commonwealth destroyers that are crappily drawn, but I will come up with better, less crappily drawn pictures later, and that will be the end of 2. I think we've put in all of the pieces here for issue 2, which makes this look a little bit more solid. And that closes all the scenes. I feel like we've done good. You'll be staying here, just around the corner, ma'am. The mess hall is down there, and the bathrooms are that way. The escape pod station is just behind this panel. Any questions? No, I guess not. It's a lot. Don't worry. Just ask if you need anything. Good night. And closes the door. Okay, that one works. Then she's sitting there. Then she hears a meow. She looks up, and there's a cat behind the chair. Meow. And then she says, Max, how did you find me? And then Max says, I feel like that might be hard to explain. And then he says, oof. And then she grabs him and hugs him, and he goes, okay, yes, I love you too. Max has got it full of snark, just all kinds of snark. And then she puts him down and goes, how are you here? Did you sneak in? And their AI is pretty sharp. He almost caught me a couple of times, but I'm slippery and managed to get through the firewalls. I'm no ordinary AI, you know. And then she says, where are we, Max? What happened to us? And he goes, what do you remember? Setting the engines, seeing the incoming Anka's fleet, making a choice. Max, and then he goes, died, yes. She goes, so this is heaven? And he goes, no, I've seen the food here. This is the Unity Military Corvette Kittiwake, FS510. Looks like around the year 2554. And then she says, military. So we didn't succeed at all. All we did was plunge Earth into the war. That's 2 sentences. Or at least 2 thoughts. I'm reading it now out to see if the flow is solid, see if I like the flow. All we did was plunge Earth into the war. Because her first assumption here is that whatever happened in her timeline, it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Because Earth now has Earth ships out in the fight, and they're military Earth ships. And those are clearly humans. Considering the fact that my aliens are so alien, it's clear that these aren't a different race of humans that came from, Burgle Splat Phi 5 or whatever, and you're like, okay, whatever. And they don't find humans that aren't human. She says, and then he goes, so all we did was plunge the Earth into the war. And then Max says, I don't think this ship is at war. It looks like it's on a maintenance mission, like it's doing the rounds, so to speak. And she says, so how are we still alive? And he goes, temporal tunneling, transporter accident, evil genius cloned us. Honestly, I don't know. I woke up about the same time you did. And then he goes, I just had a few more cycles to poke around the Kittiwake's databanks while you were getting all cozy with the quartermaster. And she goes, he looks like a Jessine. And then Max says, he is. Hey, maybe you're into that kind of thing. I don't jut. And then she slaps him. Ow. And then she says, Max, I have this funny feeling that we're here for a reason. Something is wrong in this system. I want to change that here. She says, something is wrong in this system. And he goes, and now you're creeping me out. I need to put Alex in here. Creeping me out, Alex. And she goes, the back from the dead thing doesn't creep you out? And he says, well, I mean, we're not just zombies. We're zombies with a destiny. You can see how this sounds a little outlandish. And she says, well, if we're going to have to stay here, at least we're here together. And that's the end of that scene. I think I want to workshop that last line a little bit, but we'll come back to it in a minute. Then we cut to the office here, and Bennett comes into Chang's office at the back of the ship on deck 3, and she says, "Ho there, Skipper." And Chang says, "Hey." Bennett says, "How's it going?" Chang says, "Well, about as well as you'd expect. Looks like we have something in the order of 15,000 missing or dead, and a president pro tem who doesn't want to be the president, but is doing the best to hold down the fort." And then Bennett goes, "And a weird girl on our ship." Chang says, "What?" And Bennett says, "The girl. You know, miss, I speak an ancient language and seem remarkably out of place in our world. That girl." And Chang says, "Her name's Alex." And then then Chang says, "So, 2 questions. First, why are you obsessed with this girl? And 2, don't they feed you in the mess hall?" And Bennett says, "In reverse order. 2, because my mama told me that stolen food has no calories. And 1, why aren't you worried about her?" And then Chang says, "I am, but I'm pretty sure I know what she is." Bennett leans back and goes, "Oh, well, please enlighten me, my dear captain." I want to say my fearless leader. Because I love the fact that Bennett has 0 military discipline whatsoever. Yeah, at least we have each other. Something like that. We'll come back on that one. I am, but I'm pretty sure I know what she is. Oh, well, please enlighten me, my fearless leader. Her memories are all messed up. She thinks she's in a different place and time than she really is. These are all side effects of a designer person, a gen mod. And then it's you think she's... So this is good because I kind of feel like back here at this section, we're giving away a little too much. So I kind of want to pull back a little and confuse the situation a little. Chang, being slightly biased in this instance, is... Oh, I like that one better. I like that one a whole lot better. Oh. Not the rest of the class. No, dear. I like that one a whole lot better. In fact, I'm going to let that be 2 different thoughts, and we'll put another text bubble up here that's like that. There we go. Oh, yeah. Good job there, Brent. Thank you, sir. Right? Can we say beloved? Because teacher is good, but kind of like the idea of her still calling her a beloved leader of some sort. There is a certain amount of um, allowed loss of decorum for Bennett because she's got the Purple Heart. She was actually damaged and hurt badly on the line, in the line of duty. So a lot of people give her latitude, a lot of latitude. And part of Chang's job is to keep Bennett away from the admirals, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's an unspoken job here because Bennett's good at her job. Bennett's good at what she does. She just has absolutely zero decorum. So, in the original version of this, when Chang was Cochrane was just dismissive of it. Like, it just happens so often that okay, hang on, guys. I got to talk to this guy. Oh, beloved teacher. You're really big on the teacher. Why teacher specifically? I'm okay with it, but I'm fighting for leader here, and because I kind of want to reinforce that we've got the captain here. I guess really my internal writer is worried that we have not established enough that Chang is the captain, and so is worried about making people actually believe she's a teacher. So there's some internal part of me that's fighting against teacher because I don't want to confuse people. Mm. The red flag I've got that's a good excuse or a good explanation, not excuse, explanation, and I'll go with that. Do you think we're safe from people thinking that she is not the teacher on the ship or something, like being confused? What about Sensei? Because it's what about Sensei? Because it says the right word. You know what Sensei means, but it doesn't imply that she actually is a martial arts sensei. So you can't take it literally. How about that? Okay. What do you think about Sensei? Good, bad? Yes, no? I'll go back to teacher because I feel like if you feel like it's safe, I'm too close. I am always way too close to the story. So I am always quicker to believe you on these things because I'm too close. I've been right here at, like, point blank range. Sensei is good. Okay, we'll leave it at Sensei. That appeases the red flag in my brain and fits where you're going for as well. Huh. I just had a sudden realization. Yep. Oh, yeah. This is so all of my 3 stories will end up being Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, right? Act 1 is the establishment of the scene. Oh, yeah, because it'll ultimately all be one unit at some point in time of 36 or of 96 pages. So we'll have almost 100 pages for this episode. And then there will be 3 episodes per tankobon. That's a fair argument. I just noticed that my keyboard, the question mark key, has on the lower case the question mark and the uppercase the slash. But in reality, if you hit the key without the shift, it's on slash. And the shift makes it a question mark, which is the way it should be on a keyboard, because, of course, if you're typing. But I just now suddenly realized that. I just noticed that it did that too. Why did it do that? I will let that happen. Then I will try to figure out why you just tilted the entire thing to the right by me doing this. What does this mean? Okay. That was weird. All right, back into the fray. I better save this before we have any more creative movement on this stuff. Okay. Either way, the only thing that I feel like is not as good she doesn't need to say 2 on this one. This works. Well, this should be in bold and in italic. There we go. Do you get a writing credit? You definitely get a help with editing credit. Oh my God. You always help me with editing. And actually, once we're done with all of this, I'm going to reorganize who did what and where and when and things like that, so that that's all in the opening parts of this. But you know what? It is a good thing to remember to put some kind of acknowledgement in the front part. This is the inside front cover. So one of the things we need to remember is remember. I think you're still in there anyway, because you're most certainly you have been a patron and all of those things for a long time. So I'm pretty sure you're in all of these, but just in case. Making sure all the dialogue is in this dialogue thing. Yep. But it's the 28th, so I have to remember the 28th of November, apparently. I know you're joking, but you may be joking, but it's not entirely a joke, you know? Okay, we got to figure out some of these things. He's a Jessine. Jessine have names that don't make any sense. That was part of our rule. The randomizers. We'll go out here and find ourselves a randomizer for this. Because Shadow Flash or something like that, Windy Weather, those are all names for do you have a moment in about urgent enough coconut shiny bees. I'm not gonna lie, I love coconut shiny bees. Southern Gas. I'm just going to say, though, coconut shiny bees, I'm into this plan. We need to make another. Unfortunately, that's not the way this works, but Moonbeam Pepper Lake. Oh, man, Astro Hazel Creek. Dang. Jeremy Windy Weather. I am not going to lie. I dig coconut shiny bees. I'm just saying. This is a thing. We're going to have to do this real quick here and just make sure that this text line is here so I can get back to it. But I am going to put up here because there will be cocoa nut shiny bees. Shiny doesn't have an E in it. I mean, this is a thing, man. Southern Gas always smells like methane. All right. I'm going to go up here. Quick question. Brent, are you at work or do you have access for some reason to... yeah, right. Do you have access to issue 1? Would it be faster for you to go through issue 1 or me? Because I can go through issue 1. I just have to click a couple of places. In fact, never mind. I'm clicking on a couple of places. Because really, I should be checking it anyway. Looking at this. So we don't actually mention the only Justine that's in here. We've never actually seen what name he is. He just says midshipman, right? That's what I was thinking. I was looking at that midshipman right off the bat. And that's what I was looking at, was the midshipman that tries to talk to Chang before she has coffee. Yeah. Okay. So we've never actually talked about what Justine say as their names. I feel like they should be completely and totally ridiculous. Like, not things you'd ever... wouldn't be something that would be easily readable. Like random. Yeah, there we go. Ad roll. Cool. So his name is Adroll. All right, Adroll. Let's drop the ball and prepare for transmission. Yeah. So that we can remember, we're using mythical names for it. Aye, sir. Shut down mirrors 3 and 6. And let's leave 2 on for a few more minutes to finish that computation. Give them something to chatter about. Shut down computers 3 and 6, and let's leave 2 on for a few more minutes to finish that computation for arrival at Bellatrix. They're just talking about normal stuff that, happens when you're on board a ship. And then it's, Don't do ellipses, do dash dash. No, I never did read that. When did you send it? I actually now worry because I don't actually recognize the name, which means that either you sent it and I looked right at it and then went to something else or something, because I would actually be fascinated to read these things. So okay. Yeah. Things this last 6 months have just been weird. Like, I have moments where I am completely together and with it, and then I have moments where I am completely screwed up. I don't know. You can resend. That'll work. Oh, okay. Then I must not have looked at it because it came in at some other time. I'll look at it today. Let's signal at Unity ship. Captains wouldn't do that. Let's signal that Unity ship. There we go. That sounds pretty. Let's signal that Unity ship. We are pretty far out, so give me a tight beam. UMC Kittiwake. This is the Thomas Bregman. Just inside the MT line. We are about to make the jump to in space, but we wanted to make sure you knew about an anomaly out here. And then we're about to make the jump to in space. We want to make sure you knew about this anomaly out here. It looks pretty similar to the we'll make it a nom. And then crunch. And that's the end of the Thomas Bregman. There we go. I was handwriting all of this, and now I'm like, if I type it in, I can just grab this entire folder and just move it over. Right? And just move this over to the other page, and all the typing is done. Right? Did I decide that that moment was 5 light hours out from the MT line? Shouldn't be. Should be more than that. Should be a lot more than that. You know, 5 light hours away. Change fonts to your out here font. Unity Protectorate and moment. Shouldn't hit enter on that. Alrighty, we will take you and turn you also into airborne. Work needs to be 1.5 because it's really. Kitty Wake needs to be italicized. There we go. UMC Kittiwake FS510 on station, rendering disaster aid and power for the survivors. And this also could probably stand to be 1.5. There we go. We'll put up here. Righty. Free trader Thomas Bregman at the 5 light hour Mason tally line for the moment system. P.S. Thomas Bregman. All right, there we go. Free trader P.S. Thomas Bregman at the 5 light hour safe line for the moment system. And then cut to inside. All right, Admiral. Let's drop the ball and prepare for transition. Aye, sir. Shut down computers 3 and 6, and let's leave 2 on for a little more, or a few more minutes. So it can. And shut down computers 3 and 6, and let's leave 2 on for a few more minutes so it can finish that report for arrival at the Latrix. Then cuts to, says the Jessine. Oh, what is that? Looks like some kind of gravitic shelf. Well, man, I ever be glad to get out of this messed up system. Let's signal that Unity ship. We're pretty far out, so give me a tight beam. UMC Kittiwake, this is the Thomas Bregman just inside the MT line. We're about to make the jump to in space, but we wanted to make sure you knew about an anomaly out here. It looks pretty similar to the and that's it. Crunch. And that's the end of the Thomas Bregman. Then kablamo, which you can detect 5 hours later, because it's going to take 5 hours for this light to trickle its way back out to Moment. Then it says, and we cut to Unity Protectorate World Moment, 5 light hours away. UMC Kittiwake FS-1510 on station, rendering disaster aid and power for the survivors. Kittiwake, this is City Control. Last transfer in 2 minutes. Roger, City Control. Kittiwake standing by. This rain, it's fallout. Not nuclear, but all of the things that were vaporized in the disaster. Buildings, vehicles, and then Morel says people. So what do you think her story is, LT? I've already played the game of the girl, or who, the girl. So I'll go the girl? Question mark. And I think this would be funnier if I said it's the talk. She's. Ah? I wanted to make some statement that makes it lead up to something. Makes more sense. I mean, far be it for someone like me to turn down, someone like me to turn down a good story. However, what is really eating at you, Ensign? There we go. So, the girl, she's the talk of the ship. Ah, just ah? I mean, far be it for someone like me to turn down a good story. However, what is really eating at you, Ensign? Then he says, the math doesn't add up. Silver Cove is like 270 light years from here, right? Yes. And we stopped using English about 480 years ago. So, in order for her to get here in 480 years, she would have had to have traveled at no more than 50% light speed. Okay. That's more than 320 years for the people on board the ship. Maybe I need to make this a little bit more like not Navin, or like Navin is going on and trying to do the math that way. And the end result is Mayrail going, this is presuming that she didn't learn English naturally 5 years ago, 14 years ago. Why would she do that? Now that's your real question. Because I like the idea that we are leading people away from the idea that she's from Earth. All right. Bridge. Pilot house. Transfer complete. The coop is cold and dark. Okay, these are the last little bits. See what I mean? We got some weird stuff here. There should be a dash, dash. Transfer complete. The coop is now cold and dark. Legend and Ensign Cayman signing off. Lieutenant Lurgend. Nobody will ever notice that typo. Okay. So the evolution of this whole episode, or this whole comic, it evolved quite substantially between the time that we wrote these first scenes and the time that we've returned to these first scenes. So I think I want to go back and fix this page too. Okay, I'll see you later, Brent. I'm probably gonna stand down here in a minute too. Oh no. Oh no. That sucks, bro. All right, bridge pilot house transfer complete. The coop is now cold and dark. Lieutenant Legend and Ensign Cayman signing off. Roger, pilot house. You have an all clear from here. Good night. Well, Ensign, what's next on your to-do list? And then Cayman says, routine security. I'm chasing down a weird glitch in the mainframe. You? She says, bed. This has been a long shift. I'm going to have to redo this page. I'll come back in here in a minute and do that. Why do I say 204 when it clearly says 102 on it? What is my problem? Mustang 102 approaching point 1 now, beginning sweep. P.S. Thomas Bregman, this is Moment Search and Rescue. Do you read us? There we go. Repeat. P.S. Thomas Bregman. I've got nothing. No transponder, no black box. Leaving a jump wake? Impressive flying for a heap freighter that, or for a heap of junk that freighter was. All right, I'm going to go on for just a few more minutes. Just finish this scene. the word for clear the area now. And we still have a problem with alright. There we go. Markedly better. It's overtaking us, Fox. We aren't going to make it. Mayday, Mayday, Mustang Flight 1 zip. Boom. That's up the ante a little bit. There. All right, now looking back over this. P.S. Thomas Bregman, this is Moment Search and Rescue. Do you read us? Repeat. P.S. Thomas Bregman, nothing. No transponder, no black box. Maybe she jumped. Leaving a jump wake? Impressive flying for a heap of junk like that freighter was. Hey, Fox, I'm picking up something on gravitics. A lot of somethings. Roger that. Let's get over there. Well, I think we found the Bregman. The wreckage is all lined up. Why is it all lined up? Terry, something else is on my scope. Beep. We aren't alone out here. Whatever it is, it's big. Mustang flight on me. Disengage. Repeat. Disengage. Clear the area. It's overtaking us, Fox. We are going to make it. Mayday, mayday. Mustang flight 10. Kablam. That's much, much, much more stylish. Oh, man. All right, there we go. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it because I'm liking where this is and I'm liking how it's all set up. And so I'm thinking we should call it here, and I'll come back to this again tonight. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been a good show for the evening or for the morning. For those of you overseas, have a good evening. For those of you here, have a great day. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.